Do not let the ending of that game, the final 10 minutes, cloud your judgment and make you forget what we got put through for them 80 minutes before. Spurs were absolutely dreadful that game. And barring some last minute heroics by the subs, which we're going to get into, Spurs should have lost that game. Honestly, we've robbed the bank. I know we did not get 3 points. It looked like that for all of 1 minute. But honestly, Spurs were poor, and Thomas Frank's got some real big issues. Yes, of course, it's not a loss, so you got to be happy with it. But the poor home record continues. We've still now only won 1 game at home this season. That is absolutely disgraceful. Remember Ange Postecoglou, the manager who could not manage, somehow managed to beat this Man United team 4 times last season? We can't even do that anymore. Honestly, I'm still speechless. Honestly, because Spurs have robbed the bank to get a point. Yes, of course, you may say good character, showing good substitutions, but no. That is all cap. Let's be honest. Man United deserved to win that game. They were all over us. I wouldn't say all over us, to be honest. That's a bit, but they were definitely, they had more quality. They had more opportunities. I know the stats say they only had 2 shots and obviously scored 2 goals, but they were creating more. They were getting more in the box. They were doing more things than we were. And once again, Thomas Frank, I don't know. Of course, we got 2 weeks away from Spurs, so it could be a blessing in disguise with this international break. But Tottenham Hotspur, man, where do we start? We got to go to the first goal that we conceded. It seems like we just don't learn from the mistakes we're making. If you look at the Chelsea goal that we conceded last week, players trying to overplay the ball at the back instead of just clearing it, booting it into touch, or just sending it up the field. We've done exactly the same thing. Pap Sarr in his own box has absolutely killed Mickey van der Ven by playing on the ball there. You could always tell that ball was not on. I think Mickey van der Ven probably wasn't even expecting to receive that ball. And of course, ball gets out to Cunha. Good cross, good goal as well, 1-0. And then Spurs done nothing. Honestly, we done nothing. Of course, after half-time, we had a good 5-10 minute spell where we had a couple of chances. But till then, the game again died out, and we're just struggling to be creative. Xavi Simons, I think he was actually pretty good as well. He was probably one of our best players going forward. If you're looking at that, the starting lineup as well, that front three, Brennan Johnson, of course, we know can't beat his man, was playing out on the right. Richarlison started on the left too. Richarlison had an absolute stinker, and the fact that he got 90 minutes is, I don't know what's going on there, but there's some fraudulent action going on. Richarlison cannot be Brazilian. He must be Paraguayan or something. I need the Brazilian form of ice. I don't know what they're called. If anyone can let me know in the comments, but the Brazilian form of ice needs to check his passport and make sure that he's got correct papers, because that man cannot be from Brazil. He's the most unseasoned Brazilian I have ever seen in my life. Second from Emerson Royale, which somehow these fake Brazilians just keep on ending up at Spurs, man. I don't know. But anyway, him playing out on the left, absolutely useless. Colin Muani didn't play great, but once again, I think he still offers more than Richarlison. Came off at half-time for Wilson Odobert, who didn't really do much until the last 96th, 94th minute, whatever it was. But yeah, Spurs have got some issues, man. I don't know what Thomas Frank's got a long 2 weeks. He's got to try and work something out, because he can't be throwing out this excuse that the teams that I manage don't create this, have never created as little as this, because there was a stat that they showed during the game. Only Burnley have had less shots on goal than Tottenham this season, and that is disgusting. Once again, we're 19th ranked for shots on goal in the Premier League, and that is a horrible stat. With the amount of players we have, Brendan Johnson 50 mil, Richarlison 60 mil, Colin Buwani, yes, he's on loan, but still, what, a £95 million player that PSG signed him for. Xavi Simons 50 mil. Like, it's just not good enough to say we can't create chances. And I'm not having this, we're missing Solanke, we're missing Maddison, we're missing Kulusevski. Of course, yes, they're big players, but Ange Postecoglou, once again, let me reiterate, a manager that can't manage, was getting players like Brennan Johnson 20 goals, was getting players like Richarlison 15 goals. So there's obviously something that can be done. It's got to be with the way they're set up, and I don't know what's happening with this team, but something's got to change. Anyways, so, Matthias Tell came on. I don't know how it was that substitution. Like, I like Matthias Tell and I like Xavi Simons, and the fact that Matthias Tell came on for Xavi Simons was absolutely ludicrous because Xavi Simons looked like he was finding his flow. Every time he got the ball, he was looking to do something. He just had no one to give the ball to, and you can't really blame Xavi for that when players just not getting into the box. We've gone from Ange when we had what 9, 10 players in a box when we're attacking to Thomas Frank when we're attacking. We've got maximum 1 or maximum 2 players in the box. It's just absolutely shocking, man. I don't know what it is. If anyone knows or has any suggestions what we could be doing wrong, I don't know, because the defense, we've got such a good defense. You look at the players, Porro, not a bad right back at all. Then you look at Jed Spence, he can go over there. Christian Romero and Mickey van der Ven, 2 of probably individually the best centre backs in the Prem, but just in Tottenham, I don't know what happens to us. Destiny Udogie, again, another decent player. The midfield isn't even that bad. I just don't know. It's just maybe the way they deploy it. I really don't know. Honestly, I could be thinking and sitting there waiting for hours, and I just don't know. But Matthias Tell, done well. Very good finish. Of course, it took a little deflection, but good touch, good finish. He put it in the corner. What are you expecting him to do? And then Richarlison absolutely robs a goal at the last minute as well. Takes his top off as if he's won the Champions League or something as well. But honestly, when that goal first went in, I thought it was Wilson Odobert as well. And I see Richarlison celebrating, thinking, why is he taking it off his top? And then of course you see the deflection. I know in commentary they're saying he meant it. He might have meant it, but still, that is not good enough. That was the only thing he done in the game. And the fact that his goal was not even a clear finish that he's trying is just absolutely horrible. Spurs only looked good when Man United went down to 10 men. So, yeah, I don't know, honestly. Yeah, of course, we've got the point. So, if for anyone that's saying, oh, you're being too negative, blah, 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 yeah, we've got a point if you want to look at the positives. But we were absolutely awful again. And let's be honest, the home record is just still abysmal, man. So abysmal. We got such a lovely stadium. And people call it 3-point lane. It is 3-point lane now. Let's be honest. What do we just stop turning up for home games now? Do we stop playing our games at home, or are we just going to gift away points? The only team we've beaten in the Premier League this season is Burnley at home, and obviously the way I've worded that is wrong, but you know what I mean. The only game we've won at home is against Burnley, and Burnley are arguably should be the worst team in the league. I know they're not bottom, but Burnley are going to be favourites to be going down. And yeah, it's just awful. I really don't know how to feel about the game. I guess there's a point gained if you look at it on the balance of play, because Man United deserved to win that game. Even when we went 2-1 up, it was one of them ones to say we've absolutely stolen this here, because Man United played us off the park and deserved to win. And the fact that they brought it back to 2-2 sort of was a bit of football justice, if we want to be honest. If anyone wants to be real, of course Spurs fans might just shoot me for that, but it was probably football justice, because the least Man United deserved was a draw, but they deserved to win that game. Spurs were awful once again. Of course, the absolute madness at the end of the game is going to cloud everyone's judgment, and then they're going to be like, oh, Spurs got a good draw in a crazy game against Man United. But no, Spurs were poor for 85 minutes, and or whenever it was, until Benjamin Sesko went off, and that's when, of course, numerically we've got more and then we can apply it. But I really don't know what's going on with Spurs. As I said, we've got a good defense, we've got some good midfielders as well, and interestingly enough, we always talk about how Paulinho and Bentancur can't come on, but as Bentancur came on, and that's when we started to look a bit better. Of course, he came on for Paulinho, so I really don't know. You guys let me know in the comments as well. Obviously, any of you Man United fans, maybe let me know what areas you see, because how have Man United gone from this team that were getting not battered, but they were losing games consistently, and now they just turn it up. Of course, yes, they got one game a week so they can work on a game plan, but this is what happens when you bring in top Premier League players. They brought in Matheus Cunha, Brian and Buemo, and it just looks to have changed them straight away. And Spurs, once again, trying to bring in Premier League unproven, I say unproven players. Richarlison was proven in the Prem, and now he's just proven to be absolute dog shit. I don't normally swear, but honestly, that performance today was absolutely disgusting. The fact that he even thought he had the cheek, he had the absolute gall to take his top off after that winner. He should have taken his top off and walked down the subs bench, down the tunnel, in fact, because he was absolutely stinky. And Thomas Frank taking off Xavi Simons when we're chasing a goal, that needs to be explained, because Xavi Simons just looked so good with touches and stuff he was doing. As I say, he's got no one to give the ball to, so why are you going to blame him for that? But yeah, I really don't know. At least we got 2 weeks away from Spurs. I guess that's the one positive. Haven't lost before an international break again. I guess that's another positive. But as I say, I'm still disappointed with that game. Of course, the fact that we came out of a point, it makes it a bit better, but Spurs weren't great. Let's be honest. And anyone that says Spurs were great is a liar. You're an absolute liar. And if you do think you're great, let me know in the comments as well, because please explain to me how we done anything good until they went down to 10 men. Yeah, I don't know. I'm just praying we get some players back, because our next game after the international break is Arsenal, who sit top of the league. It could be a very, very, very long day, bro. But I'm going to get out of here, because let me enjoy my Saturday, so Spurs don't ruin it. Spurs haven't ruined it, but yeah, like, comment, subscribe, all of that will be back. During the international break, probably anyway. Maybe we might talk about some games later. If maybe the Black Cats can do a little job for us or something, because that's probably the only thing that can make my day better now. And yeah, peace and love, guys. Come on, you. Not even come on, you Spurs. 'Cause Spurs just fuck off. Honestly, just fuck off.